Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. And now, celebrating 15 years of broadcasting, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, whether you're tuning in on the radio dial here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM. We welcome you all back to our program. Also, those tuning in through our online affiliates around the world, including our friends at iHeartRadio. We're glad you all could join us as well. We're really excited to welcome award-winning photographer and best-selling author Seth Casteel to our program today. Seth is celebrating a new book through National Geographic Kids called It's a Puppy's Life. It's a great book full of great photos, but also a great story and reminder, I think, not only about the adventures that puppies are able to take in life, but also the connection with children as well. There's a lot of big days coming up when it comes to pets here in our country here in the United States. On April the 30th is National Adopt a Shelter Pet Day, and of course our friends at PetSmart are going to be celebrating National Adoption Weekend coming up May 18th through the 20th. We're going to remind you of that at the end of our program. We'll talk to Seth not only about what it's been like for him to share his own love of life with all of you, but also what he hopes you take away from the book as well. Seth, hello to you and welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Hey, Seth, the pleasure's definitely all mine. First of all, congratulations to you again on the book, It's a Puppy's Life. I love the fact that you were able to marry not only, of course, these beautiful photos, but also this great tale, I think, of what life is like for puppies, as well as you mentioned at the end of the book, for children as well when it comes to discovering the world around them. What has it been like for you, Seth, to be able to take your own love of photographs and to be able to tell stories like this?
Well, I grew up with a miniature dachshund named Duchess. So when I was about 5 years old, Duchess came into my life, and she lived to be about 17. And growing up with a dog, anybody out there who, as a child, grew up with a dog knows how much fun that is. And you sort of get to, experience growing up as they're growing up, and your teammates, your buddies, your pals. And so I'm just grateful that I had the chance to be introduced to dogs when I was so young. So doing a book like this is fun because it is a kid's book. Adults can enjoy it as well. But I think, inspiring children to have a dog in their life, to be excited about dogs, to treat dogs the right way, to, go out and have adventures like dogs do. I mean, it's just such a fun thing for me to be able to do this.
Right. And I think the other thing that comes across for me, Seth, in the book, and I'll have you talk a little bit about this, is that, the connection to being able to explore. I think, especially, as children, and I can remember this for myself, it seems as though, there was nothing unusual about wanting to be a firefighter, a police officer, and, an architect all at the same time, right? But, I mean, as you get older and life happens to you, you start looking at the world differently. It's one of the things that you hope that children kind of take away from this book, and even us adults as we're reading it to them, is to never lose that sense of adventure.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that this book, even though it is so simple, the pictures are simple and fun, the words are simple and fun, but go out, try new things, explore, have adventures. You never know what new activity might be your favorite of all time. And that can translate into just activities and hobbies, trying new foods, seeing new places. Yeah. I mean, I think that there's so much to see, and even though this book is such a simple little book, I mean, hopefully, that message does come across. And the other thing about this book, too, which I think is really fun, is all the different types of dogs that are in this book. I think that for kids, they may not know that there's so many different types of dogs and mixed breeds, and I think that it's wonderful to be able to educate people about that as well.
Yeah, and National Geographic Kids has done such a great job of being able to do that, to introduce us, to different things that are right around us. So, I want to broaden the scope a little bit, Seth. We all have heard that saying, a picture's worth 1,000 words. When did you realize the power of photos for yourself and know that was something that you wanted to be able to share with the world? 2006 is when I realized the power of a picture, and I sort of came across photography unexpectedly. I was working at a movie studio in Los Angeles, and some friends of mine were taking care of the community cat population living in the studio lot. And these are cats that are just living on their own, but they're living amongst movie stars. So they actually had pretty good. But they're community cats, and my friends were getting a bit overwhelmed, though, because they were finding litters of kittens as well, and hoping to get those kittens adopted. At one point, they were so overwhelmed, I
I said, is there anything I could do to help? Maybe I could take some pictures of these kittens, and we can find these kittens' homes through the pictures, sort of as a marketing tool. And so we snuck the kittens into an executive's office over at the studio, and we took some pictures of the kittens jumping around on the furniture and just being kittens. And we used the email network at the studio, which we probably weren't supposed to do, to send the pictures out to everybody that worked at the studio. Whoops. And, of course, all the kittens ended up getting adopted, and it was so cool to see that process. I mean, I didn't know a lot about photography at the time. I had just a simple camera and a simple lens and didn't really know what I was doing, but the pictures turned out to be powerful, and that was unexpected, I suppose. And so that is the first time I really realized, wow, this is pretty awesome. I mean, these pictures literally made the difference for these kittens. And so that led me on to my career as a photographer and volunteering in other animal shelters. So that was pretty cool. I can't believe that was about 11, 12 years ago now. Goodness sakes.
Right. Yeah. And I think, that love that you have definitely comes through in the way that you were able to capture these photos. We're going to talk more about how you're able to let us know more about them as well, Seth. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're excited to welcome award-winning photographer and best-selling author Seth Casteel to our program today. We're talking with him not only about his new book, It's a Puppy's Life, published by National Geographic Kids, but also there's a lot of great days coming up for those who are pet lovers, who are looking to add pets to their lives as well. National Adopt a Shelter Pet Day is coming up on April the 30th, and as I mentioned, our partner here at PetSmart has National Adoption Weekend coming up as well. That's going to be May the 18th through the 20th. Seth, I love the fact because as myself, even though I am a visual artist, I'm not very good at details, right? So when I was initially going through the book, I was like, oh, that's a cute dog. That's a cute dog. Had no idea what type of dog it was. But, imagine my my delight at the end of the book where you're able to kind of let us know what type of puppies are being featured in the book. How important was that for you? And I thought about this for two ways. One, of course, for parents maybe who might be, reading this book with their kids and allowing them to say, okay, look at the guide, see what type of dog this is, can you pick out which kind it is? And also for teachers, were you hoping that kind of was part of what happens in the educational aspect of this book?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think that there was originally a lot more pictures to choose from for this book, and for me and Nat Geo both, we thought let's definitely have a nice variety of different types of dogs, purebred dogs and mixed breed dogs. It's just nice to have that as a presentation, because if we have a book that's just all golden retrievers and labs, certainly the golden retriever and Labrador retriever people out there are going to love it. But it's nice to be able to show all the different types of dogs. And for me, it's such an interesting thing to look at this back couple of pages, and you see the whole lineup. Meet the pups, and you get to meet them all on one page at the very end.
Right.
And it's also kind of exciting for me because, dogs like these have only existed for not that many years. These different breeds. Of course, I'm interested in the science behind dogs and how long dogs have been around for and how they've become our friends, how they've become our companions, and then to see all the different ways that dogs have been able to help us as humans over the years. And all these breeds you see in the back and mixed breeds were really sort of designed by people to help us be better as humans. And it's just such a reminder about that when I see that picture.
Yeah. As I mentioned, with the timing of this book, with National Adopt a Shelter Pet Day coming up, I mean, one of the things that you allude to in the end of the book is kind of your letter to us, Seth, of course, is not only, your own love, love of dogs, but also, you mentioned this, if you are considering adding a new furry member to your family, don't forget that rescue puppies and grown dogs need homes and are looking for someone to guide them through their big days. In fact, rescue dogs can be some of the most devoted companions you'll ever have. Why was that so important for you to make sure that we don't forget that? That's
my mission. I mean, I'm a rescue adoption guy, and I like to promote that in the most positive way. Certainly, I love all dogs out there, but I've got a little poodle mix named Nala, who people ask me who she or what kind of dog she is, and I say she's a mystery doodle. And I adopted her in 2007. I've had her for about 11 years now. And there's something about rescue dogs for those folks out there that have adopted a dog. Then you'll know what I'm talking about. But they know what you've done for them. They know that they may not be around if it wasn't for you. And there's something real special. There's a special bond about that. And I have that with my dog, and I think everybody who's adopted a dog also has that. They can't tell you thank you directly, but they can show you. And there's something real special. So if you're out there and you're thinking about bringing a new dog or cat into your life, definitely consider adopting, because you're saving a life, and you're going to have such a special relationship with that dog or that cat.
Yeah. Well, you've definitely made Nala famous. Now Nala makes 2 appearances in the book, of course, in the book flap, Seth. It is, of course, with the note from the author as well. And, I think, again, that love, definitely comes through that you have. And I'm sure that Nala has for you as well. And it's great that you're able to share that with all of us. Again, everyone, Seth Casteel has been our guest for this segment. He's an award-winning photographer and best-selling author. His newest book is called It's a Puppy's Life, and really very timely, as I mentioned, because National Adopt a Shelter Pet Day is literally right around the corner on April the 30th. So make sure you all be able to look in your area to see how you might be able to add one of these great dogs to your own life. The book, It's a Puppy's Life, is available through our friends at Amazon.com or through your favorite bookstore. Again, it's published by National Geographic Kids. And Seth, let our audience know, how can they stay connected with you and also find out more information about your foundation?
Well, if you like silly pictures of puppies and kittens and dogs and cats, you can definitely check out my Instagram, which is Seth, S-E-T-H, Casteel, C-A-S-T-E-E-L, as well as my website, SethCasteel.com. And, you know what? And if you watch TV, I'm working on this wonderful TV show, which is a dog adoption TV show called Finding Fido. It's on the Z Living Network. And I basically match up rescue dogs with awesome families.
Awesome. Well, Seth, congratulations to you on all the great work you've been able to do, and also on the new book, and looking forward to our next conversation together.
Hey, thanks again. I really appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate the time. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. If you all came in late and missed part of the conversation with Seth, don't worry. Thanks to our online friends, you all can catch the replay right after we go off the air. The link is already available through our social media site, so head over to Facebook.com/Cyrus Webb or go to Twitter.com/Cyrus Webb. If you click on the link there, you can listen to the show completely for free and share with your friends from there, too. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Make sure you take out time to enjoy some good music as well as a great book. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live today. You all make it a great one.